Hi everyone, we're just going to spend a few minutes talking about the different things that you can do to help your dogs during this strange time that we're in. So it's really important to look after yourselves, and if you haven't done so already, check out the video I made all about looking after you. But even though your routine may have changed, your dog's probably has as well. Okay, so it's really important that we look at how we can help them as well as us. I have also just written an article for Pet Remedy, which is now published, all about how to help your cats cope. So if you've got cats and dogs, please check that out as well. I'll pop the link in the comments under this video. And as always, if you like what you see, please subscribe to see more of me and my adventures with Tony the cat, who is currently out enjoying this amazing weather we're having. So, in terms of our daily routines, animals are quite used to how we run, in terms of they get fed normally at the same times every day, they maybe get walked at the same times every day, and they're used to you going out to work every day at the same time, which is the biggest thing that would have changed now. So for many of us, we're now working from home, or just being at home more. So it can make our animals act out of character because they're out of their routine and they're just not really sure what's going on. The other thing that can have a massive impact on our animals is us, okay? So if we are feeling stressed and anxious, our animals are going to be picking that up on us, okay? And it's going to be making them feel stressed and anxious. So try to bear that in mind a little bit when you're working with your animals, especially if you're trying to do one-on-one stuff with them. If they're not doing quite what you want, or if they seem out of character, have a look inward and see how you're feeling, and whether that's maybe having an impact on what they're showing you. Let's start with training. So 10 minutes of training can be the same as 30 minutes walk in terms of mental tiredness. So they still need the physical walk, but it can mentally exhaust them. If you only work on exhausting animals physically, but mentally they're still completely wired up, then they're not going to be able to relax, they're not going to be able to settle, and they're going to be more stressful and get under your feet a bit more, okay? So just 10 minutes training a day can be enough to just help them switch off a little bit, okay? Normally, I would do clicker training, but you don't have to do clicker training. It can be anything you want. It can be basic obedience training, trick training. You could have a look at Jo Rosie Haffenden's dog yoga book and teach your dog some yoga. It's a fantastic way of doing it. You can play with them. So there's loads of different toys that are out there now. I work closely with Tug Enough dog training toys, and they are amazing. So do check them out. When we take our animals on our walk, so we are allowed one walk a day, or one sort of day out, one time out exercise at the minute. So when you're walking your animals, please keep them on lead, okay? Even if you would normally have them off lead, and I mean in public places, okay? So keep your animals on lead. The first thing for this is we're meant to be keeping a 2-meter distance between us. If your dog is off lead and it goes running up to another person and you have to go over to retrieve them, that's not keeping the 2-meter distance. It's also going to be very stressful for the other person who may have a sensitive or reactive dog. They don't want you, letting your dog run up into their space. Even if your dog is the friendliest dog in the world, please don't let them do that. It's a fantastic time if your dogs are a bit naff on lead to teach them some good loose lead walking skills. So please do that. We've certainly got time on our hands now where we can be focusing on that. So make sure you are keeping them on lead. When you are walking your dog, please remember the walk is for them, not you, or as well as you, okay? So let them sniff. Don't just drag them along at a really quick pace and not let them engage with anything. They need to be able to sniff. They need to be able to explore the world around them and process all of that stuff. Otherwise, the walk is pretty pointless in terms of mentally, again, they're not going to have had their time, okay? When dogs sniff, especially if they're sniffing around where another dog's been to the toilet, that's kind of like them checking their doggy Facebook, okay? So they need that time for their own social, mental well-being. If you are letting your dogs off lead, please make sure this is in a secure, enclosed area so that your dogs can't escape. And please make sure, like I said before, that you don't let your dogs run up to other people. If your recall is not 100%, then I would put them on a horse lunge line is generally what I use. You can use extendable leads, but please remember these can break. They're only a tiny bit of wire, essentially, that's in that lead. So horse lunge lines aren't going to break. You know, they're made to hold horses, so they're gonna be able to hold your dog. But please respect other people and the issues they may be working on. Okay. Give your dogs things to do that doesn't necessarily involve you, and this is really important. So for a lot of our dogs that are not used to you being around, having you there all the time is quite intense. So giving them things to do that they can do on their own gives them a break and also gives you a break from them. And it's completely fine to want a break from your animals, especially if they have got behavioural issues that you're working on. So give them things to do. This can be interactive toys that are like puzzles they have to solve. It can be when you feed them, you can feed them through scatter mats, treat balls, things like that. But it's all stuff that they can do to occupy themselves that doesn't involve you. If you teach your dog to play and you teach your dog how to play with those toys, so it's really important to remember that they don't necessarily know how to play with them. We do need to show them. Hopefully then when they get bored, instead of pestering you for attention the whole time, they will choose to go and play with those toys instead, okay? Like I mentioned, with meal times, you can use things like snuffle mats, treat balls, all of those things that actually kind of stimulate that search and hunt kind of mode in dogs is really, really good. So give them their feeds at the same time every day to have that routine and consistency they like, but maybe present the food in different ways. Really, really helpful ways of doing it. So you can do maybe a bowl feed for breakfast, and then you could do a scatter feed for dinner, just for an example, but you make it work for you in the space that you've got around you. Make sure that you have lots of relaxing time with your dogs, as well as excitable playtime and training, okay? So make sure everything's in a balance. When we talk about relaxation times, this can be calm grooming, it can be massage, it can be laying on the sofa together, just chilling out. It's just getting them used to the fact that calm stuff happens with you as well as fun, crazy time stuff. It will help them regulate their energy levels a little bit. If you are really stuck with things to do, then I do run online dog training classes. So I run dog training classes at Chevier Village Hall. It's a mixed ability class. Anyone can come. Obviously, due to the coronavirus social isolation, we're not doing it at the hall anymore. We've now gone over to online classes, and I do them via Zoom. So you join from the comfort of your own home and garden. We do lots of fun stuff. You can interact with each other, and your dogs can hear each other via the Zoom. So it's fantastic in terms of getting that socialization in there. And it's a really good way of, if you do have reactive dogs, working around other dogs but in a really safe way. So if you are stuck with things to do, then by all means join my classes, and I hope to see you all soon. Stay safe, keep your dogs well. Vets are still operating, but please make sure if you need to go to the vets, you call them first, because many are only doing it where you book an appointment over the phone rather than just turning up, because they're trying to obviously help people keep separated. And lastly, dogs cannot transmit coronavirus in terms of they cannot catch it and give it to you, but they can potentially carry it on their fur and on their leads and things, which is why, again, it's really important you don't let your dogs run up to other people and their dogs. Okay, any questions, do give me a shout, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.